The Dallas Cowboys made their biggest move in recent years, getting George Pickens away from the Pittsburgh Steelers. In today's Madden 25 rebuild, I'm rebuilding the Cowboys with Pickens on the roster, and we're going to try and get the Cowboys back to glory. Welcome into another rebuild on the channel. I hope you guys are having yourselves a great week. I'm in a slight rush getting this rebuild out. I am graduating college in just a couple of days, so it's been kind of a busy week finishing up finals and all that stuff. But I had to make sure I still got a rebuild out for you guys this week. And George Pickens on the Cowboys just felt like a really fun one to do, also a very current event. So that's what we have going on today. Obviously, here is a look at the roster. And Dak Prescott, he is superstar dev and an 85 overall in this roster. And the Cowboys offense actually is pretty good now. You have one of the best receivers in the league with CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens, a fantastic contested catcher and deep threat down the field. Jalen Tolbert, kind of like the intermediate receiver. The offensive line is young with Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton, and now Tyler Booker into the fold of things. I actually really like how the offensive line is. We do need a right tackle. I don't think Steele is our guy moving forward, but for now, he'll be a serviceable player. And then Jake Ferguson at tight end, an above average tight end, I would say, in the league. Defensively, there definitely are a bit more holes, but we do have still some star talent. Micah Parsons, Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs. I even like Overshone, is only a 76 overall. He did suffer a pretty severe knee injury like later last season, but there's no injuries in this rebuild, so we do fortunately get him for this video. But the rest of the defensive line, it could use some help. I don't think Dante Fowler or Mozzie Smith should be our long-term answers here. And then our safety duo as well, just some veterans I think we could look to replace. But overall, this Cowboys roster is not terrible. We do have a lot of star talent. We just got to patch up a few more holes. And Jerry Jones, he already did one for us, getting George Pickens. I also really like the Cowboys' draft. I think Siobhan Rebel was a steal. I think in like, round 3 or 4 they got him. We're going to have him play in the slot this year. He probably is better suited on the boundary, but we're just going to play him there so he can get a lot of reps as a rookie. And I think the same thing goes for Donovan Ezeraku. I'm going to have him start over Dante Fowler, and I think that will be better for him long-term, just get a lot of reps in his first year. Now for scheme and playbooks, I'm just going to run the default for the Cowboys. It always seems like they do good in sim, so we're going to test it out here today as well. And through the midseason point of our first season, we are 2-4, and it looks like our offense and defense are really not performing well. We have only $14 million in cap room and a couple of players to sign. I think Osa here on our defensive line, 79 overall, star dev, is going to be like the one player we can get back currently. And luckily, the rest of these players are basically backups, except for, I guess, our punter here and Brian Anger. But we are going to be strapped for cash moving forward with CeeDee Lamb, Micah, and Dak all going to be on huge contracts. Hold the phone. The Dallas Cowboys go 8-9 and make the wild card round against the Philadelphia Eagles, who went 12-5 on the year. Don't love our chances in this first round, but I would say still not a great year having a losing record, but I guess we can at least see George Pickens in our first year. Dak had a pretty good year, 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. We definitely want to see that number down a little bit. On the ground, Javonte Williams had a good season for us, 880 yards and 14 touchdowns. Dak actually had 7 touchdowns as well on the ground. But receiving-wise, CeeDee Lamb, only 995 yards and 7 touchdowns. I don't know why the ball was so spread out this first year. We had CD in the slot, so I thought he would get majority of the targets, but George Pickens only 800 yards and 7 touchdowns in his first year as a Cowboy. And defensively, outside of Micah Parsons, it was pretty rough with our other production from our players. Odi Uzua had 5.5. He was our second leader, and then Fowler with 5. Just not great. But some good news is Siobhan Rebel had 4 picks as a rookie, which is really big for us. And then Bland and Diggs also had 3 apiece. Our secondary is going to be really good for years to come. Nothing too out of the ordinary when it comes to the playoff bracket, although the Las Vegas Raiders did make it as a 6 seed. The Lions got the number 1 seed in the NFC, and that is who we will be facing off against if we somehow shock the world and defeat our division rivals in the first round. But here we go at the link at night. And the Eagles are already starting off with touchdown. It's 14-0, but before we finally get on the board, let's hop in here with the offense and take a look at George Pickens wearing number 84 for us on the outside. Pickens, can we give him the ball here? Pickens is going to hold on to it, and George Pickens, he's down to the 1. How sick would that have been if we scored on his very first completion and catch there? But it's 14-14. Our defense, which struggled all season long, cannot stop this Eagles offense. It's 28-14.5. We somehow get a safety. We're still trying to fight in this one. We're going to make it a 5-point game, but again, our defense just cannot get a crucial stop in this game. If we force to miss field goal here, maybe we could have a miracle, but it's just not looking good right now, and it's actually going to be hooked left. So we have a small chance here if we score for our defense with their backs against the wall to finally get a big stop. Jake Ferguson here underneath for 4 yards. And let's see if we can get George Pickens his first touchdown. He's on one-on-one coverage. Pickens in the end zone. He's going to hold on. He dropped it. Are you kidding? Perfect route concept. One-on-one. Dak throws it on the money, and he drops it. Can we try it again here? Pickens on a little corner route. There's a double coverage. Going to throw it underneath here to our rookie running back, Blue, but we're short by a yard. Might as well kick the field goal and make it a one-possession game, and I think I did that right. It's going to go in. But now at the 40-yard line, we basically need to force a turnover or have them lose some yardage here because they're somewhat in field goal range. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be run up the middle here, Saquon, and he did get 2 yards. They made the field goal, and that's going to be the ball game. We're going to lose a shootout, 38-29. If you haven't realized yet, we have to pour a lot of resources into our defense this offseason. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl 31-28 against the Baltimore Ravens. Pat Bryant for the Broncos won Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I don't know why Von Miller always signs with the Dolphins in these rebuilds, but he won Defensive Player of the Year. We've got $26 million in cap room, and here's our last look up players to negotiate with before free agency. Tyler Smith, I am going to accept his 5th-year option. It's a no-brainer. But again, the rest of these guys are pretty much backups for us. I think I probably will just find a new punter as well in free agency. So we have $26 million to add some more pieces to this team. Gonna try and get BJ Hill on a 1-year deal because Mozzie Smith and Solomon Thomas are just not cutting it for us currently. And I also think Elijah Molden, 80 overall, 26 years old, he could be a good safety for us moving forward and replace Donovan Wilson in the back end of our defense. And we got everybody but Molden. We got BJ Hill and this punter, and now it is time to tackle the draft, and we really got to hit some home runs. In the first round here with pick number 19, I think Rocco Robertson out of Oregon makes a lot of sense. He's 6'7", 310 pounds in his A pass block, A awareness. He's around 1 to 2 talent as well. I think he's just good enough for us to step in and be our right tackle of the future and replace Steele. I know we really need defense, but we're going to address that in next round. And we got the number 31 player in this draft who is hidden dev. Not the greatest athletic ratings, but his skills are really good. I think he can be the next great Cowboys tackle on our offensive line. The board isn't great here, so I'm going to take the only player I really know how good he's going to be. Jamie Barrett out of LSU, a free safety, around 2 to 3 talent, which isn't great. His physicals, again, aren't special, but we need help in our secondary. I'm going to take him here, and he was number 75 in true value. He is hidden dev. 89 acceleration, 86 speed is a little bit slow for a safety, but hopefully he can develop for us and become our starter long term. And the draft recap is okay. Robertson's a 74 overall and Barrett is a 71. That probably means both of these guys will be starters for us in a couple of years and be pretty good starters. I always forget in the first year to change the draft class strength to strong, so I'm going to be doing that next year, and that's why the draft classes will actually look better than this year's. But here's the roster in year number 2. Not much has changed on offense, only the addition of Robertson, and really every other player is the same. Pickens is up to an 85 overall, CeeDee Lamb's up to a 98, and Ferguson, he did get a superstar dev. I do have to keep an eye on Dak Prescott's regression. I want to keep it somewhat realistic so he's not down to like a 75 and he just can't be our quarterback 1. So there may become a point where I have to manually make sure that he does not regress way too much to keep it somewhat realistic. But defensively, we had a couple of slight upgrades this year, getting BJ Hill, a new safety in the back end of our defense, but we still need a strong safety. We still need at least a couple more linebackers and preferably another defensive tackle that can develop into being a mid 80 overall player as well. I'm probably going to change the playbook this year because we were just too bad for the amount of talent we have on this defense. So this year we're actually going to be running Fangio's playbook for the base 4-3. It fits really well, and now we're going to see if that has any impact. And through the midseason point, again, we are struggling 2-4. And it looks like, again, our offense and defense just are both starting really slow. We do have $68 million in cap room, but look who's coming to the negotiating table. It is Micah Parsons. We're going to have to give him this 4-year deal, $16 million a season. Not that bad, and he is going to accept it, so we do get that done. But with only $39 million left, we have to make a couple of big decisions with Jake Ferguson, Deron Bland, George Pickens, and maybe even Jalen Tolbert. We got to get back Pickens at least because, I mean, this video is all about him. He's going to accept this one. And Deron Bland is tough because we have Siobhan Revel waiting in the wings. Do we really need 3 corners that are really good and going to be making a lot of money? Probably not. Maybe we sign Bland and then ship off Trayvon Diggs in the offseason. Could be an option of what we do. I'll offer him this 4-year deal, and he is going to sign right away. But now only $7.8 million left, and Jake Ferguson, we don't have enough to pay him currently. Tolbert is going to have to leave, unfortunately, as our wide receiver 3. I guess we can bring back Brandon Aubrey, one of the best kickers in the league, on a 5-year deal if he'll accept it, and he will. And we go 10-7 this year, so 2 games better than what we did last year. We are still the number 7 seed in the playoffs. The Eagles are so good, it's going to be so hard to catch them in this rebuild. But we did show some good signs of improvement. Our offense was one of the best in the league. Our defense was middle of the pack, which was better than one of the worst in the league last year. Dak, again, had a really good season, 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. Again, a little high on the picks, but I mean, that yardage and touchdown total is beautiful. On the ground, Javonte Williams again led us with 959 yards and 12 touchdowns. Through the air, again, really spread out, but CeeDee Lamb had over 1,200 yards this year and 15 touchdowns. George Pickens, again, just hovering right under that 1,000 mark, but I mean, Ferguson and Tolbert also close to 1,000 yards. But defensively, running Fangio's playbook, it really helped out Donovan Ezuraku break out this year. He had 13 sacks in year number 2. That is huge for us and his development. Deron Bland also had 5 picks. Kenneth Murray had 2. Overshown had 2 himself. Our defense was a lot better this year. But the Lions, again, the number 1 seed in the NFC. I don't know how we're going to fare against Seattle on the road against the 12th man. But if we take them down, we have another hard matchup going to Ford Field. Sam Darnold is still the starting quarterback for the Seahawks. He's an 86 overall, so this is going to be a battle. That maybe Jalen Milroe, he took the reins, but no. Sam Darnold, he's still the starter. But here we go in Seattle. This team is just not better than us. On paper, we have better overalls across every single metric, so I'm expecting us to put together a good performance here. And so far, 3-0, our defense actually kind of carrying right now. But can we please get George Pickens in the end zone, have him on a corner route here against, I think, Devon Witherspoon. We're going to throw it up, and Pickens, another drop. I'm not going to lie, he's selling pretty hard right now. But again, on a slot fade here, looks to be somewhat open, and Pickens right away going to throw it, and I forced it and threw a pick in the playoffs. Huge mistake by me, and it looks like our defense did hold him, though. They did not score a point before halftime, but here comes Seattle taking the lead. Can we please get George Pickens a touchdown? That's all I want to accomplish here. 1-on-1 coverage potentially again. That safety's going to sit over there, so we're going to dump it underneath here to Tolbert, and he's got the first down by a good margin. But 1st and goal at the 7, start of the 4th quarter, we have Pickens on a slant route. You know where this ball is going. Pickens underneath, he's going to hold on. He dropped it again. How many times is this guy going to drop the football? You seriously can't make it up. So we're going to try it again. 2nd and goal. Pickens on this slant route. Pickens kind of double team here. Still going to force it. And it's picked off again. It's picked off again. I can't get this guy a touchdown. I just can't get him a touchdown. It's unbelievable. And so now our defense has to get a stop. And they finally do. And now down by 4 points. 3 minutes to go. Dak Prescott in the playoffs. Can he lead a clutch drive here? Underneath to Ferguson, or actually Schoonmaker for a big first down. But what a slugfest this game has been. 7-3. We probably have more points if I'm not forcing the ball to George Pickens, but we have to get him a touchdown. What is this video if we don't get George Pickens a touchdown? But officially inside the red zone here, 3rd and 5. Can we please get a conversion? And Pickens, 1-on-1 coverage. Dak hit as he throws, incomplete. Biggest play of the game, 4th and 5. Hopefully somebody comes up underneath, and it's Tolbert for a huge conversion. We're inside the 10. Now 1st and goal. Going to have a little bootleg here. George Pickens, can he get open? George Pickens, he's got it, and it's overthrown. Why is this so hard to get George Pickens a touchdown? He's dropped like 3 of them. Dak has missed a couple of throws. We just can't get it done. Tolbert here underneath. He's going to hold on. But 3rd and goal. 26 seconds to go. Pickens underneath. He finally holds on, and George Pickens has found the end zone in the postseason. Finally, he holds on. And as long as our defense doesn't choke, we will escape and defeat the number 2 seed in the postseason. And it is over. The Dallas Cowboys have won our first playoff game of this rebuild. And we're moving on to the divisional round against the Detroit Lions. And now the number 1 seed, 13-win Detroit Lions on the road. I can't say I love our chances here, but we did just take down the number 2 seed in the NFC, so anything is possible here. Our defense played great last week. Our offense is going to have to put up more than 10 points if we're going to beat this high-powered Lions offense, and so far, we're moving it right down the field. It is 7-3, And our defense just continues to be really, really good in this postseason run. 4th and 3, get a field goal. It's 10-3 at halftime. And we're going to make it 17-3 on the road here against Detroit. We are going to make it a 10-point lead, but Detroit quickly responds. And a 17-3 lead now turns in to a 20-17 game with the Lions inside the red zone. Jared Goff underneath here. We have his route covered. He's going to fire to the end zone. Honestly, just bend and not break and give Dak a chance to get a field goal for Aubrey. It's going to be a run to Gibbs. He's going nowhere. And now on 3rd and 10, we know this is an obvious passing down situation. Goff outside the numbers here. Staying right out of bounds, he's short. So they are going to kick a field goal, which means Dak Prescott, George Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb have a chance to go in this football game with 2 minutes to go. We find ourselves already around midfield, 3rd and 3, less than a minute to go. Dak in the shotgun. He's looking, scanning the field, and he took an egregious sack. So here we go in overtime. In the playoffs, both teams get a chance at the football, but it looks like who's going to get it first? It's going to be the Lions. And Detroit moves it right down the field for a touchdown. Can Dak Prescott answer? It looks like we can. Pickens actually just scored the touchdown. And you know what? We're going for 2. We're not playing this out in overtime again. We are going for 2 here against the number 1 seed on the road. Can Dak Prescott find CeeDee Lamb here for the game? He's under some pressure. CeeDee Lamb, he holds on, and the Dallas Cowboys are going back to the NFC Championship game for the first time in over 20 years. And look who it is who made the NFC Championship game. Of course, it is the Philadelphia Eagles, the number 3 seed in this postseason. But you know what? We wouldn't want it any other way. We want to go through our division rival here en route to the Super Bowl. And it looks like the Baltimore Ravens are probably going to be the AFC team in the Super Bowl. Don't feel great about this one, but let's see if we can rise to the occasion here. And so far, the Philadelphia Eagles make a 7-0 early statement. And again, our defense just can't match up against Philly. Our offense and Dak are keeping us within striking distance here, but our defense just can't stop them. 3 touchdown drives already for the Eagles. And again, before half, they're again moving it down the field, and it's going to be 24-17 at halftime. I'll hop in here and try to give us a boost on 4th and 9 and no man's land. Maybe George Pickens up the left sideline if he has that one-on-one coverage. And he does. George Pickens down the field. He burned him and he held it in stride. And it's tied just like that. That is why Pickens is on the Cowboys. Now some defense is being played on both sides, but Dak gets us down the field with a touchdown, and here come the Dallas Cowboys in the 4th quarter. We're again moving it down the field. It's 38-24. Please don't blow this lead, Dallas. It's again a 10-point game, but the Eagles will not go away. It is 41-38. Jalen Hurts has the Eagles in position to go win this game or even send it into overtime with just over 2 minutes to go. But under pressure here, and Hurts is going down, and that is a huge play for our defense here. Just pin our ears back and get after the quarterback. A couple more negative plays, and Dallas will be in trouble. A run here to Saquon. Interesting play call, but 2 plays. All we need. I'm playing the sticks here. Hopefully, maybe Micah Parsons can get home against Lane Johnson. That would be great. But Hurts is going deep. Trayvon Diggs, can he make a play on the football? And he does. Trayvon Diggs with the interception, and he's down the right sideline. And that's going to just about do it here. But now we're sitting at 3rd and 8, and it's time to put the ball in Dakota Prescott's hand. Can we find Pickens here for a conversion? I think Ferguson over across the middle of the field. But Dak whiffed on the throw. Luckily, we do have Brandon Aubrey, but I don't know why Dak completely missed that one. But the kick is up and good. Just don't allow a touchdown. Just keep everything in front of us. Don't get beat deep. We're fine with those little dump-offs here. The Eagles are not going to burn their timeout. They've got 39 yards to go and only 1 timeout. I'm hoping we can just get Hurts down here. Overshown, beautiful tackle in the open field. Just no Madden cheese and Dallas Cowboys curse, and we're fine. Hurts is going deep into the end zone. Somebody swat it down. It's going to be swatted away. It was almost caught, but it's not. And the Dallas Cowboys are going back to the Super Bowl as the number 7 seed. We ran through the 3 best teams in the conference, and we're not going to catch a break. The Baltimore Ravens do make it back to the Super Bowl. I believe last year it was the Ravens against the Eagles. And who would have thought the Cowboys, who started, 2-4 this season, the number 7 seed in the NFC, that we would find ourselves in this position. We have to get off to a fast start, and it looks like the Ravens are going to be the team that score first, make it 7-0, and now it's 14-0, and now it's 17-0, and now it's going to be 24-0. We finally scored, but it's 31-7. And it's not looking good for us. We got a field goal opportunity before half, and it looks like we are going to make it. But down 21, and now 28, and now 35, we got destroyed. Our defense, which has been pretty good this season, got absolutely shredded in this one. 52 points allowed in the Super Bowl, and that's a tough way to go out. But I feel like as the number 7 seed, we definitely exceeded our expectations, but still, tough way to go out here. And the season recap, Lamar Jackson was Super Bowl MVP. We did not take home any awards this year. Josh Allen actually goes back-to-back with NFL MVPs. But here's a last look at players we need to negotiate with, and Jake Ferguson is up to Superstar X Factor and at 85 overall. We've got $14 million, so actually now we have enough to bring him back on a deal, and he is going to sign with us, which is great news. But unfortunately, Jalen Tolbert, Kenneth Murray, Sam Williams, some of these depth pieces for us. I am going to be rejecting the 5th-year option on Mozzie Smith. That's a no-brainer. But we are going to be losing some of our depth here, especially in our linebacking core, but it kind of just has to be done. And the free agent class actually looks pretty good. There's a lot of very solid players. Don't have the money or really the need for Jameson Williams or like a Derrick Henry. But I think getting somebody like Terrell Bernard and converting him to right outside linebacker and our 4-3 defense could make sense. We need about $7 million more to make it work. So I'm probably going to restructure one of our big contracts and then bring him in as kind of our offseason addition. So we're going to free up $26 million in cap room by restructuring Dak's deal, but adding 12.9 to the final 2 years of his deal. But we're going to make sure we do that here and secure a couple more years of our Super Bowl window. So Terrell Bernard, going to give him a player-friendly deal to ensure we can lock him up, and that should be a great addition to our linebacking core. But we also need another defensive lineman. I think Bobby Brown is just some good depth at our interior. Can also replace Mozzie Smith potentially. And then I suppose Micah McFadden here, just another linebacker to add some depth for our unit. He also is better than our current starter, so maybe he can even start for us. But we did, in fact, get all 3 of our players in our defense. Should be even better next year with 3 players in their prime, just pretty solid veterans. And just looking at the market for Trayvon Diggs, I'm very tempted to pull the trigger here and get Nick Emmanwori with a 2nd and 3rd rounder and get off the $20 million cap hit and a 28-year-old player. I really think this is probably the right decision, but I'm going to play it out one more year with Diggs and see if we can get over the hump. Now, here in the draft with pick number 31, it comes down to 2 players, Jamie Gary or the strong safety Mike Springs from TCU, both round 1 talents. I think the bigger need is at safety. I don't really think we need a ton of help on our pass rush with Ezeraku and Micah Parsons. So I think Mike Spriggs here is going to be the pick. His physicals look really good. Great speed, great strength, elite agility. His skills leave a little bit to be desired, just a B really across the board for all the important ones. But we're going to send it in here, and he is number 21 in true value. He is hidden dead with 91 speed and 91 acceleration. Our safety duo now is young, pretty good. In round 2, I think this defensive tackle looks really good. Cameron Goings. He's 6'1", 295 pounds, so a little bit undersized, but his physicals look really good all across the board. His skills, A, tackle, B, play rec, B, power moves. I think this guy's going to be a pretty good player here towards the end of the 2nd round. And he's 87 in true value, so he's slight reach, but he is hidden dead with 88 strength. So again, probably could be a starter for us in a couple of seasons. In the 3rd round, we need a 3rd receiver, and Philip Bradley just looks like a physical freak. 6'5", 229 pounds. He ran a 4.44, has a 40-inch vertical. Gonna take him here, and we'll see how good he is. He's number 103 in true value, so pretty much where we drafted him. Hidden dead with 93 speed and 94 jumping. We kind of just got like a George Pickens clone almost. And our first 3 picks were really good. Spriggs is a 76. This defensive tackle is a 73. And our receiver is also in the low 70s. I let the CPU take over in day 3, and it didn't go great. Not really a single good contributor, I would say. But the team in year number 3 is really, really good. Definitely the best team that we have had. We have a brick wall up front for Dak Prescott. All of our young guys are really developing well, all into the 80s at this point. Ferguson is an 86 overall superstar X Factor, one of the best tight ends in the game. Of course, still George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb as our weapons. We have this Bradley kid now as our wide receiver 3. Williams and Blue is just a pretty good running back duo, and Dak Prescott still maintains an 86 overall superstar level, which is great. But this defense, we've put a lot of work into it with free agents and draft picks, and I really like how it looks at this point. Our linebacking core is pretty much complete with Overshown, Bernard, and Luafu. We've got Barrett and Spriggs the last 2 years in the draft, and they're both going to be really good players for us, already better than the veterans we had to start this video. And we already know about our cornerbacks with Trayvon Diggs, Bland, and Revel Jr., just 3 really good players. And with Ezra Raku really developing as our second pass rusher to Micah Parsons, I love how this team is looking. I think we have a great chance to make it back to the Super Bowl this year with an 88 overall team. And through the midseason point, we are cruising 6-1. Our offense is the second best in the league, and our defense is number 6 in the league. By far the best start we've had to any season so far. And it looks like all the additions on defense are finally starting to pay off. We only have $5.8 million in cap room and a decent amount of players to bring back. Technically 4 starters, so we're again going to have to restructure some contracts to get these guys back. CeeDee Lamb, he's going to free up $16 million in cap room. It is going to make next year tougher. I think it said minus $2 million next year. But we got to get those players back. And then Micah Parsons is also going to give us $9 million this year, and that should get probably 2 or 3 of those guys back. I guess I might have read it wrong because now we have negative money in cap room. I think it means come the offseason, we will get that cap relief. So we're going to have to wait to sign all these guys again, which I don't love. And we end the season 14-3, but still not the number 1 seed. We have the number 3 offense and the number 3 defense in the league. This team is pretty ridiculous, but it looks like the Detroit Lions again are the number 1 seed. They won't go away. And our first round matchup is against the Green Bay Packers. I don't love that with their success against us. It seems like every time in the postseason, but every NFC North team also made the postseason. The Lions, the Packers, the Bears, and the Vikings. That's got to be the first time in NFL history that has ever happened. The Dak this year put together an MVP campaign, 4,600 yards, 41 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions. On the ground, Javonte Williams also had his best season with 18 touchdowns and just under 1,000 yards. Receiving, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens absolutely cooked. This is what we've been waiting on all video, and Pickens actually led us in receptions with 99. Our rookie receiver, Philip Bradley, also had a really good rookie season. But defensively, oh my goodness, Micah Parsons had 29 sacks. Ezra Raku, this is a really good player as well with 13 himself. Picks-wise, 3 for Bland, 3 for Diggs. Bernard also had 2, and Spriggs, our rookie, 2 picks as well. You love to see it. But here we go. Actually, our first home playoff game of this rebuild against the Packers, just oddly enough. But I really just want to take care of business here, and so far, it's kind of a domination. 14-0. The Packers do get a field goal, but we really should blow these guys out. We do have the overall advantage. Way better record in the regular season. Home field advantage as well. It's 17-10 as we approach the end of the first half. I really don't want to have to step in here. It's 24-17. I'm going to try and get us another George Pickens touchdown. I'm not going to force it anymore just because I do want to win a Super Bowl, but CeeDee Lamb is wide open here, and we're actually going to get it to him. Beautiful throw from Dak. A little bit late on that read, but I did see him. We're about 2 touchdowns again. Our defense with the stop can put this game out of reach, and they just got it. But our offense did not do anything with a couple of stops there, and the Packers moving it down the field, and they're actually going to tie up the game. I don't know what it is. Anytime the Packers come to Dallas, they're just so annoying to play against. And now we have a big 3rd and 9 across the middle of the field. Bad read there. It's swatted away. We are going to make a field goal, and now our defense needs to stop. Jordan Love has Green Bay marching here, and it's going to be some play action. Love is under some pressure. He's going to fire it deep, and Trayvon Diggs. That is why we kept you on the team. And that should just about do with 1 first down. How do the Packers have the ball here? It looks like somebody just turned it over. I can't even see what just happened, but we're on defense again after picking up a first down. I thought it was over, but the Packers have the football. But Deron Bland, he says night-night. That is why we have 2 super high-paid cornerbacks. It's to do things like that. Send them home. It wasn't pretty, but we took care of business and won 34-31, and we're just going to survive in advance. We got rid of our kryptonite here in Green Bay. We're moving on to the divisional round once again. And in the second round, our matchup is against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We did not get an upset in the 4 versus 5 matchup, but the Chicago Bears did take down the 49ers, another rival of the Cowboys. But Baker Mayfield is still the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, although they have Chase Anderson waiting in the wings, a 75 overall rookie. But this Bucs team is definitely still going to be a pretty good squad. Emeka Egbuka and Chris Godwin. I guess Mike Evans is still there at age 33. But I mean, the Buccaneers, they didn't even have a winning record this season. We, again, should not struggle against this team. But so far, it's 7-3, and Baker Mayfield putting up some points and some yardage against our defense. But it looks like a turnover here, 17-7. And now I just want to run away with this. I don't want to choke it like last week against the Packers. Let's just score a couple more touchdowns and run away with this thing. But we can't do it, and now it's a 3-point game. What is with the Dallas Cowboys just not being able to bury the opposing team? All it would have taken was one more touchdown. But here we go, blue, just not even close to getting that first down. Our defense did get a stop, and we are going to make it a 2-possession game, and that's going to just about do it here, winning by 10 points, 24-14. We are going to move on again to the NFC Championship game with probably, if I had to guess, a rematch against the Detroit Lions. In Detroit, they also won by 10 points, 31-21 against the Bears. And on the AFC side, the Chargers against the Chiefs in an AFC West clash. The Ravens are finally not going to be making the Super Bowl this year. But we are the better team. Compared to the Lions, we're overall advantage across every metric. We beat them last year in this exact same spot. And so far, it is 3-3. After the first quarter, it looks like Detroit is going to score a touchdown. Can Dak Prescott answer here? And it looks like we can't. We might have turned it over in the red zone. And at halftime, it's 3-10. Still not much scoring going on, and we need our offense to wake up. We now are in the red zone, looking to tie this game up 10 apiece. George Pickens underneath. He's going to hold on and pick up the first. And now here at the 11-yard line, Pickens underneath on the slant route. Beautiful throw and catch. And Pickens finds the end zone again. Can our defense please force a turnover or do something? And they can't, but we quickly respond, and now the Lions again get a field goal, but we score another touchdown, and our defense allows a touchdown then. A lot of scoring in these last couple of minutes, and now we're back again inside the red zone. Can we find the end zone? Underneath here, it's going to be caught by CeeDee Lamb for a first down. We're inside the 10-yard line. Feels like this game is coming down to who can get the first stop, and I'm hoping it's Micah Parsons in our defense. Under some pressure here is Dak. I'm just going to throw it away and not risk a turnover. But second and goal from the 8. And I'm going to throw it here to our rookie, Bradley. He holds on. What a catch. And we take the lead. The Lions are already at the 50-yard line. Our defense, which has been so good all season, has been struggling here in the second half. Goff underneath. I thought I had a chance for a pick, but they're going to get a huge gain instead. It feels like all these playoff games we've hopped into have gone down to the wire. Some really good games, but I wish we could have just buried the hatchet a couple of times. But Goff under some pressure again, and there is Micah Parsons, the biggest play of the season. 3rd and 22 now for the Lions. Just don't allow a chunk play here, and we're fine. It's going to be thrown outside the numbers, and it's a first down. I thought he was a little bit short, but he also got it and out of bounds, which is a heartbreaker. And now Jahmyr Gibbs is inside the 5. 2nd and goal at the 5. Goff dropping back. He's under some pressure, and there goes Jared Goff. He's sacked again. And now the Lions have a 3rd and goal at the 19-yard line. There's 2 stops from our defense. We're making it back to the Super Bowl. Goff, again, outside the numbers here. That's fine. He's only going to get 5 yards. I'm playing the pass, telling our defense to play underneath, and Goff is going to the end zone. It's too high, and the Cowboys survive again. And Dallas is going back to the Super Bowl for back-to-back years. And now it's time to close the deal. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they did lose to the Chargers 41-38. So a pretty unique Super Bowl matchup here. Looks like Justin Herbert had himself a great game against Mahomes. And it looks like Joe Milton now is the backup in Los Angeles. And we've got to get off to a better start in this game compared to last Super Bowl against the Ravens when it was like, 21-0 before we even scored. But so far in the first quarter, we did score first. It's 7-7 as a huge thunderstorm is going on outside right now. But we're in the red zone again to make it 14-7. Our offense is actually producing pretty well in this first half. And again, we couldn't score before half in the red zone. But our first drive in the second half has us already inside the red zone, looking to take a 2-possession lead if we can't pick up this first down. And Dak just run plenty of green grass, and Dakota Prescott with a rushing touchdown in the Super Bowl. And now our defense with 1 stop could kind of ice this game here. And it looks like not really much is going on. We've got an 11-point lead with the ball inside the 10. 1 touchdown here really ends this game. Can we find George Pickens potentially? And he's not really open. I don't want to take a sack. I'm just going to throw it away. They're playing off coverage. If this linebacker blitzes, Pickens is wide open for a touchdown. He doesn't, but we're still going to throw it anyway right behind him. And Pickens is in the end zone in the Super Bowl. There you go, Dallas Cowboys fans. What else could you ask for? And that should just about do it here It's 28-10, and that's the game. The Dallas Cowboys have won the Super Bowl with George Pickens on the roster, 2 straight Super Bowl appearances, and we finally get it done this year with Dak Prescott leading the helm. Now, the season recap, Super Bowl MVP did go to Dak Prescott, and Micah Parsons won Defensive Player of the Year. But Josh Allen, I think, just won his 3rd straight NFL MVP, which is kind of crazy. But I think that is going to do it for me in today's rebuild. I usually do play out the following season after winning the Super Bowl to see if we can go back to back. But I have to be up early for my graduation tomorrow. It's already around midnight, and I have to still edit this video and pre-upload it. I really want to get this video out to you guys, so I'm in a little bit of a rush here. So to save some time, I'm just going to end it like this. But here's a final look at the Cowboys roster. It is really, really good. Javonte Williams has really developed for us. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, both into the 90s now. Jake Ferguson, a 91 overall. The offensive line is pretty much a brick wall for Dak Prescott. And the defense, Ezuraku, his development has been huge for us. The 2 safeties that we drafted in Barrett and Spriggs. Our cornerback trio is so elite. The couple linebacker additions as well that we made. This team is really, really good. A 90 overall, a 92 overall offense. But I really hope you enjoyed today's rebuild. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it and what team you want to see me rebuild next. The most liked comment in my comment section will be the next team I rebuild. But subscribe to the channel if you are new. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.